Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Megan and I'm a small business owner and entrepreneur. One question that I get asked all the time is how did I start my t-shirt business? So I wanted to share my story with you guys, kind of tell you how I started my t-shirt business, where it is now, and then everything in between. Okay, throwing it back to 2020, I was a full-time student going to school, getting my prereqs all done so I could apply for the nursing program I wanted to get into at my local community college. And then on top of that, I was also a host and I was working at a very delicious Thai restaurant. And as most of you know, 2020 was when the pandemic hit and we went into quarantine. So all of my school moved to be remote and all online. Between my online school and the hours I was working at the restaurant, I had a fair amount of free time on my hands, or time just at home. So naturally, as we all did in 2020, I downloaded TikTok, and for some reason I was getting like so many small business TikToks. I don't know like how that happened. I must have saw one and just watched it and they started overloading them on my page, but I literally was watching small business TikToks all the time. Don't know how I got there, but I'm very happy that I did. So every day I would see people packaging like hundreds of orders, or like doing post office runs, or behind the scenes stuff in their warehouse, or like making their products. And I was like genuinely just so intrigued and fascinated. And surprise, surprise, a lot of these small business owners were t-shirt makers. I found these videos like super inspiring and, like I said, super fun to watch, and I kind of was just like, oh my gosh, like that would be the life. I kind of did like a little bit of research on like what you needed to start a t-shirt business, but there's like so much information out there, and I'd watch YouTube videos here and there, but I never did think that I would actually start my own business. Like it was kind of just a curiosity thing. So then flash forward to September of 2020, and I asked my parents for a Cricut machine for my birthday because I was watching these videos. I got really into like the Cricut stuff. I've always been like a crafty, artistic girly. I wanted one to like just simply make crafts. I played around with it for a couple of months, and then in November I decided to make my own shirt. First shirt that I made was a crew neck that had like a little chicken family across the front. It was just a plain gray crew neck, and you guys are probably gonna make fun of me, but my favorite animal of all time are chickens. I love them so much. I grew up with chickens. They're just honestly the best. But that's why I made that shirt. Like I literally made it specifically for me because I just liked chickens. And then a couple weeks later, I listed the chicken shirt on Etsy. Like I was not expecting much of it. I just like listed it for fun basically. I was not expecting anything to happen because I know the t-shirt market is like just so oversaturated, and especially on Etsy, like there are thousands and thousands and thousands of t-shirt sellers, and I knew that my listing would probably just be on like the 500th page. I wasn't paying for ads or anything. I simply just listed it there. So I was not expecting much out of that. Just a little side note, I did have my own Etsy shop when I was in high school. When I was like 15 to 16, I sold like candles and bath bombs, and my first pop-up was actually at a poultry show, which is funny, ironic. I guess that goes to show you how much I love chickens. So moral of the story is that's how I knew a little bit about Etsy before I listed my first product. Like I already had an Etsy shop, like I didn't have to set this up, like it was already something I had, and I kind of knew like a little bit about Etsy. So anyways, I had listed this shirt, and a few days later I ended up getting an order for the shirt, and I was like, oh my gosh, like somebody actually liked this design, and how they found it on Etsy, no freaking idea. Anyways, I got this order and kind of just like lit a spark in me that was like, well, maybe this could actually be something. Maybe I do have a chance at starting a business. If it's not going to be something crazy, like it'll just be a little side money for while I'm in school and while I'm working at the restaurant. Still, no plans of this becoming like a full-blown business. Before we dive into the details of the next part, I do want to just do a little disclaimer. One of the first shirts I sold said a quote that said, "Drink water, don't be racist." This was said by AOC. And while I usually try to separate politics from my business, I don't really want them to mesh any longer. I feel like it's kind of an important part of the story, and I want to tell you guys like the whole story, not really leave anything out. So the focus of this video is to just see how I've grown as a t-shirt business and entrepreneur, and just tell you guys my whole story. This is not to try to push anything on you, or get into anything political or discuss anything political. Let's just all be respectful, and I will get back to the story. Okay, so after I listed that first initial chicken shirt and I sold one of them, I was like, maybe I should list some more things. So like I said, that second shirt I listed was the AOC drink water and don't be racist crew neck. Mind you, it's 2020, like the election is happening. People are amped up on social media. They're going crazy. So one day before I went to work, I had taken a video of me. I can't remember. I was either making the AOC crew neck or it was just like a video of it. I think it was just a video of it. I was like, oh my God, I have to get to work. I have to leave by 4. And I made this video, I posted the TikTok, and I ran off to work. I remember I was so frantically trying to get this TikTok uploaded before I went to work that I forgot my Apple Watch, which I used to wear every single day when I was working at the restaurant because I love to just track my steps and things. But I forgot it that specific day. So I went to work, got there at like 4:30, and I put my phone away in my bag and didn't touch it the rest of the shift. My shift was over like 9:30 or 10ish. I pull my phone out of my bag and I'm like so completely shocked because my notifications are going insane. Like I looked down, I had thousands of notifications from TikTok, from Etsy, from Instagram, from my email, from literally everything was just going off. And I was like, okay, what's happening? Literally no clue. So I log in, I go on TikTok, and I see my video has like 300,000 views or something crazy. Ton of comments. And I'm like, oh my God, people are seeing this video and they're going to my Etsy and ordering the shirt. So I go there and I see all of these orders, like 300 orders, and I'm just like so baffled. My notifications are still going nonstop. Like I'm holding my phone and it's just like popping up, popping up, popping up. So I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out at this point because I have literally sold one single shirt and I started my business like less than a month ago. So I have no idea what's going on. I raced home to try to figure out what to do next, and basically at this point it was either sink or swim. I realized that when I set up my Etsy shop, I set my inventory at unlimited, so there was no cap on my orders. Like they were just selling, 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 and obviously I didn't have 300 blanks in stock or obviously 300 shirts made. So these were all going to be made to order. And like I said, I had just started. So I think I got my first blank at like Michael's, like a craft store, and I got my HTV at a craft store. Here I am with like 300 plus orders, no clue of like where to even buy supplies. Like obviously I have an idea of where I can buy supplies. I don't know any of like the cheapest vendors, the best vendors. Like I don't know any of this. So while I'm trying to make and pack 300 orders, I'm also trying to research and figure out basically how to run a business, because I don't know, I'm just a 20-year-old girl. I'm just a girl. But I was motivated to swim and not sink. So I spent countless hours doing research. You guys, YouTube is so good. Like there's so much information on YouTube. I watched so many videos. I read so many articles. I went on TikTok. I did everything to try to learn how to run this business while I was actively running it. And I will stand by this. I have never learned so much in such a short amount of time. I have never felt like that amount of information absorbing into my brain at once. So after a little while, I kind of got a system down. I do remember, so I was trying to order blanks. I was 2020 during the pandemic, so luckily all these manufacturers are shut down. So I had the worst time trying to get blank shirts. If you guys had a business during this time, you guys probably remember this, but I was piecing together, like I remember getting like mediums from Shirt Space and larges from some random company, like I don't even remember. And just having to piece together my inventory because like I already had these orders, I couldn't just say no. That was a major stressor that I remember being like so panicked about. Is like, I don't have this inventory. We got a system down, we got our inventory, and I had initially had my Cricut and everything just on a desk in the guest room of my parents' house. But that was not enough room to fulfill 300 orders. So my parents were kind enough to let me use the downstairs of their house. We kind of set up a makeshift office. Like my dad brought in these folding tables and we kind of just like created a little family assembly line. We had boxes and boxes of shirts. I was pressing, my mom was folding. It was insane. My friends even came over at one point and were helping me pack all of these orders. Like it was so nice and so sweet and everybody was so supportive. So after that initial blow up, I literally went from like 50 followers to like 10,000 followers in the span of that week. And I knew I had to keep the ball rolling. That's when I came out with shirt number 3, which was another crew neck that said, "I'm speaking across the chest here," which is a quote by Kamala Harris. Came out with that one, and same thing, it was political. It was gaining a lot of traction on TikTok. Honestly, the reason I think that my videos were doing so well was, one, I hopped on TikTok at an opportune time when it was just becoming like a very large thing. And 2, like I said, it was very political, so people in the comments were either supporting or hating, and it didn't matter if they were a good comment or a bad comment or people arguing. It didn't matter what kind of comments. It was just that my posts were getting a ton of engagement. That engagement was just pushing my videos like crazy, obviously showing it to more people either loving it or getting upset about it, and just a snowball effect. And these videos were just doing really, really well. So for the next few months, I was still in this learning curve. I was learning as I was going, and then flash forward to April of 2022 when I got an email that I got accepted into the nursing program. At this point, I realized like I already felt a little bit like I was overwhelmed by trying to run my business and trying to work at the restaurant and doing these prereqs. Like, it was a lot. When I was going into the nursing program, I knew that this was going to be in person. There was just no way I could do my core nursing program and the business and work at this restaurant at the same time. I just knew there was no way. So I took a step away and I ended up quitting my restaurant job in July of 2021. And obviously I knew this was a risk because, I mean, my business was doing well, but it also, it could flop at any moment. But it was a risk I was willing to take, and I'm very, very grateful that I did. I would just think about at work, like, all the hours and time I was spending there. What if I put all of those hours and time into growing my business and keeping this momentum going? And how much more money could I make by giving this time to my business rather than giving it to the restaurant, So then that's the choice I made. And I went with putting my time into my business. So kind of during this little break I had, I built my own website on Shopify. I kind of transferred from Etsy to Shopify to have my own platform. It's a lot, I wouldn't say better. It looks more official. It looks like a website. You're able to customize everything to make it look like how you want it to. My social media just kept growing and growing, and you guys were learning with me, and I got really cool opportunities to work with brands. Like, I worked with Michaels, I worked with Rollo, which is the label printer. I really use that thing every day. I had the opportunity to work with a company called Press Hall. They're currently now shut down, but they were amazing. They sold blank shirts. I even had the opportunity to travel. I got to go to Seattle. I got to meet other small business owners and content creators. I got to go to Indiana and do a speech at an expo event about my story, about basically what I'm telling you guys right now. Like, I had so many cool opportunities just because I started this business. And I also got to connect with you guys and this amazing community. So all throughout nursing school, I had this business to support me, and I cannot tell you guys how grateful I am. I was in such an amazing position because I was able to control my shop. Like, they basically told us, you work more than 20 hours and you're going to flunk out of this program. And I had the ability to tailor my work to what I could handle. So I could shut off my website for a couple of days if it was too overwhelming. I could work my work schedule around my clinical hours because I am my own boss. Like, I had all of this freedom to basically make money or slow it down a little bit. I had the capability to do that, which was so extremely helpful during a rigorous program like a nursing program. So in 2023, I graduated with my associates in nursing, but my schooling was not done there because I wanted to do another year to get my bachelor's. So if you've been following me, you know that Meg & Co has moved around quite a little bit. I started in my parents' guest bedroom with a tiny little desk in my Cricut, and then I moved to their downstairs. Then I moved out with my best friend, and then I had a little office in the house we lived in, and I quickly outgrew that. And then in 2023, I moved to Portland, Oregon, where I finished my last year of schooling to get my bachelor's degree. Moved to Portland, and my boyfriend and I got a really cute townhouse that the whole downstairs was basically mine and mine only. I converted the garage into a spot that was able to hold all of my inventory, and then connected to that garage, it was honestly the best setup. Connected to the garage was a little office space where my computer and all of my office-y things were. And then now in 2024, just a few months ago, I graduated with my bachelor's in nursing, and then I shipped and moved all of my business stuff to Philadelphia. So right now in Philly, we have a little house, and I have the whole downstairs again. It's awesome. I have 2 bedrooms. I did the same thing, inventory in one room and kind of like an office space in the other. So I guess that is where we're at now. After the holiday kind of dies down, like I'm gonna start looking for a part-time nursing job because I did not go through 5 years of school for nothing. It's gonna be a lot, I think, at first, but it's gonna be worth it because I really want to pursue both of these things. It honestly still shocks me, the progression of my business, because never in a million years would I think I would be sitting here running my own business at 24 years old. Truly insane, but it's also so amazing, and I have met so many small business friends. It's awesome. All right, I think that wraps it up. I tried to go quick, but like not leave anything out. I know a lot of you guys are like more interested in like the very beginning, so that's kind of mainly what I focused on. But I hope my story was able to inspire you. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts or answer any questions about starting your own business. I do have a few guides available in my shop because, like I said earlier in the video, there's a lot of information out there, so I've tried to make guides that are very simple, straight to the point, and just everything you need if you need a little bit more direction. And if you guys are curious about my shop, you can find it. I have it linked down below, or you can find it at meganco.com. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!